let's talk about Texas education. You know, STAAR testing continues this month for all Texas public schools. Now, while the test is a necessary means to assess school performance, a lot of pressure is put on each individual student. So now it is argued that it's the standardized testing, and it's viewed as more important than the actual curriculum that teachers would like to teach the kids. Here to talk about all of this morning is educational consultant Melissa Williams. We have policy analyst Jackie Bally and blogger Lisa Carey from themoneysavingparent.com. Now, we did ask our Facebook fans whether they think there's too much pressure on our children with the STAAR test, and boy, did we get some responses. And everyone seemed to agree that they think it's too much. So let's go through a couple of them. Candace writes, with a lot of teachers in the family, all of them are angry because the schools want them to teach kids how to test, not about science or math. Kimberly writes, there's a lot of pressure put on children for these tests. My son is a 4th grader. He came home crying because he thought he was not smart enough and failed the exam. And Michelle writes, I think it's just way too much stress. I know someone who passed all their classes but failed the subject on the test and was denied being able to graduate. That, to me, just seems wrong. First question to you all is there actually too much pressure on students with the STAAR test?
I think there is. As a former educator and now a parent who has a 3rd grader taking the STAAR test this week, there's a lot of pressure. She's upset, she's not happy, she's crying. She was worried about a loose tooth being a distraction. She had me pull it out. That's how upset she's, worried. So I think there's just a lot of pressure there for kids that they really want to perform and do their best.
I have an 8th grader. He's taking it Tuesday and Wednesday, and he's actually just very focused on his academics, so he's not nervous. But he did tell me something which was interesting. He felt that it was more of pressure for the teachers and administrators because they care so much about their students. They want them to do well. And he felt that his teachers and administrators were more nervous about making sure that the students got good testing grades.
And for some students, that pressure does trickle down to the student from the teacher. Testing is just not what it used to be. The pressure is almost like adult-like pressure and stress that 4th graders and 3rd graders should not be undergoing.
So what's the option? Go back to the basics, the reading, the writing, and the arithmetic?
Right. Well, there's so many things that aren't being focused on now. The creative aspect of teaching, take writing, for example. Children now believe that the only type of writing is expository and narrative writing, when creative writing is such a beneficial thing to be teaching children in school, which does not happen anymore.
Go back to the basics?
Well, one of the great things that happened through our last legislature is that our state representatives and members of the Senate came up with House Bill 5. And what House Bill 5 is it takes it back to local accountability. So instead of just testing, we're also looking at community involvement, parent involvement, the basics, gifted and talented programs, dropout, how to prevent dropout and make sure that the dropout rate reduces. So I think with House Bill 5, you're going to bring more accountability at the local level, and that combined with the state accountability pressure will be better.
There's a group called Texas Parents Opt Out. They want a moratorium on the test. Should we really allow the students to opt out when the rest of the students are taking the test?
Well, I think that there wouldn't be a need to opt out or a moratorium if we could change it in such a way that just as you do when you go to college, you have to take a test, you have to have letters of recommendation, you have to be academically successful, you have to have extracurricular activities. Maybe if the STAAR test had a less concentration on just the scores, and it was just one more component on how we viewed academic success, we wouldn't really need the moratorium, we wouldn't need the opting out, and we wouldn't need to worry about not being able to find out exactly how successful our school districts and our teachers and our students are doing.
You know, we'd love to carry on this conversation because it is very, very crucial to the future of our state. But ladies, thank you so very much for joining us. We're talking about Melissa Williams, Jackie Bally, and Lisa Carey. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.